Interestingly enough, driving in this morning at 5:30, something like that, I began to experience all the possibilities of things that could go wrong. Here I was in a truck loaded with a full cord of wood, a little extra weight, so it causes the truck to handle a little differently. What if the truck had a flat tire? What if I met a drunk and he ran me off the road? What if I was drunk? And then I began overthinking, worrying about it, complaining, and just making everything so complicated. But I began to look and say, wait a minute. Here I am engaged in overanalyzing every situation that could possibly come up, and who was on front and center stage? Ego! Yes, yeah, a round of applause for Ego. Yes! And at the same time, I often will hear my ego say, but I want happiness. I want inner peace. I want simplicity. You ever hear the saying? Okay. But deep down inside, if you really get clear, you're going to notice that ego is deathly afraid of any of these possibilities. Because if any or all of them come up, guess what? It just lost front and center stage in your awareness. Think about it now. You see, who we really are, our true selves, we strive for because we know we thrive simplicity. And why? We are simplicity. The few times that I have allowed myself to come forward and be honest and say, hey, I really am simple. It doesn't meet with a great round of applause. But hearing about ego, notice, ego met with a great round of applause. You see, we stay in our heads way too much. Our heads? Well, isn't that where we're supposed to be? Well, can you imagine living from your feet? Think about it now. Mulling over past conversations, stressing about future events, it drives us crazy. We spend hours playing out scenarios in our head that never happened, probably never will happen, and even if they did, we're not there yet. Starting to get a little feel for this? So we're talking about the way things are and what we can do to change that to the way things will be. Confucius is quoted as the one who said, life is really simple. It really is simple. We're the ones that want to overcomplicate it. And who is it in us that wants to overcomplicate everything? Ego. As long as we listen to ego and do its bidding, we're going to find our lives are in a stressed mess most of the time. Now, we go about it in arranging ourselves and trying to rearrange our lives. How many of you believe in a higher power? Higher hands, please, for a higher power. Higher. Thank you. Don't want you to wear yourselves out. Here's the deal. You don't trust that higher power at work. Everyone to hell, everyone to hell! It doesn't matter what name you call it. God, source, whatever. It is that which is behind the scenes in everything that's going on in our lives. As a matter of fact, it is the one from which the scenes are made. As a matter of fact, we are a part of the one, inseparably a part of the one. But our feeble minds, our feeble little minds, can't comprehend this. So what do? We try to make our own plans and agendas on how things in our lives will go. Newsflash. They seldom ever go that way. In case you haven't been noticing, oh, well, that was just no, that was a freak. I've got to plan my life out. I've got to, first thing in the morning, make a plan for my whole damn day. And then I'm constantly revising that plan because things aren't going the way I was thought they were. Higher power, higher intelligence knows what's best for us. Knows what's best for us. Even though we're convinced we know. So these next two considerations are probably going to put you off to where you won't even want to stay and have fine food and drink and stuff. And I'm just setting you up in case you get really a bad case of, what is it called now? Acid reflux. Accept and surrender to whatever life brings to you and brings you to. Accept and surrender. Because you see, life is giving you exactly what you need in any given moment. Your only duty to this is trust. See, this is where we find out our true stance in our relationship to life. When thing comes up and we don't like it, and we resist, we revolt, we rebel, we bitch, we moan, we complain. The whole time we are saying, in essence, I do not trust you, life. I do not trust you, God. I do not trust you, Source. This is way too screwy. So then the next thing you might bump up against is that you're not really honest with yourself. I'd bump up against that far more than I would like to admit to you. So many of us hide ourselves from ourselves so much that we don't even know what the truth is anymore. We get so wrapped up and caught up in the ego's agendas. We get so caught up in over everything with regard to life that we completely miss the simplicity of it all. You still with me, by the way? Just checking. I know how I can be. How many of you like to make other people happy? Happy makers? Happy people makers? People pleasers, right? Okay, so here's the deal. This is a real good indication that you are ego-driven. Because you are wanting to make everybody happy all the time. And it doesn't work that way. What if you just tried to make yourself happy? Shocking. Now here's the one that will really just either sink your boat, or you'll turn around and face the other way, or you'll say, wow, there's something to this. You believe your perception of life is the absolute truth. It takes a degree of waking up to be able to look at your perception of life and remove that energy that you have there, that you're holding, that your perception happens to be the absolute truth of what's going on with life. Here's the secret. Your perception does not even come close to equaling truth. But what it is it reveals it's just that. It's your perception. How many times have I found myself assuming that my perception was shared by you, only to discover that your perception was so screwed up it couldn't be possible? Isn't that the way we operate? See, I'm putting myself in that position because I see myself that way. I don't know if you have the capacity to do it for yourself, but if you do, it might help you to get to the place of being able to actually simplify your life. You see, because life doesn't need to be hard. In fact, when we start to simplify it, we realize that the simple life is where true joy and happiness are going to be experienced. We take things and we take people at face value. We trust the process and don't overanalyze everything and everyone. So, if you do anything with regard to this today, keep it simple. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.